This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Shirts for the Scene. Head over to the popkoproject.com and you can purchase your favorite band tee. We are raising money for the local artist in northeastern Pennsylvania whose income was drastically affected by COVID-19 since the world shut down all the way back in March of last year. Hard to believe we've been going through this for almost a year now, but that's why this fundraiser is so important. Artists and musicians' income has been next to nothing, and by buying a t-shirt on the online store, your purchase will directly have an impact as the proceeds go to the band whose shirt you are buying. There are over 100 bands, artists, and venues to choose from, but the store will be closing at the end of March, so go to thepopkoproject.com and purchase your shirt today. That's thepopkoproject.com and click the link for Shirts for the Scene. And Shirts for the Scene is made possible by Axelrad Screen Printing in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Visit them online at axelradarmy.com. My guest today served as an account executive for The Weekender from 2005 to 2007. She was actually hired before she even finished her last semester of her senior year of college. For those of you who don't know, The Weekender back in the day was the Bible when it came to arts and entertainment in northeastern Pennsylvania. Katie and I would butt heads often, but we figured out the reason behind that. And it was because of our strong personalities and both of us needing to have the last word. But like most of our Weekender relationships, we were like brother and sister. We talk a lot about the fun we had at the Weekender while she was there, some of her favorite memories, her next chapter of her career at Mohegan Sun Casino in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, the effects the pandemic has had on that job, as well as the small business that she and her husband have, and a whole lot more. Like most of these Weekender files, it was so much fun catching up with Katie and hearing about where her life is today, especially as a wife and mother. Welcome to the show, Katie Borkowski, or as I knew her at the Weekender, Katie Gross. And we are live with Katie Gross.
Yeah, Katie Gross. I haven't been Katie Gross, oh my God, in 11 years.
Yes, now Katie Borkowski, correct?
Yeah, that's right. You got it. Some people like slaughter that. They're like Borkowski. I'm like,
it's pretty easy, right? Yeah, it's pretty easy. Or you can just we'll embarrass them and we'll call him Rye Guy.
Rye Guy. Everyone knows him as Rye Guy. Everyone knows him.
Oh, poor Rye Guy.
I know. I should have had him make like his cameo appearance here, but I sent him upstairs. I said, go watch Seinfeld or do something.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we just started getting into Seinfeld, and I've never watched it before. And it's
what?
So funny. I have never seen it. No, ever.
Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I mean, it is funny, like belly laugh funny.
I've seen every episode probably 5 times at least, and I still watch it every time I can.
We just saw the episode, not to bore everyone, but we just saw the episode when George was the marine biologist and he was saving the whale.
Oh yeah.
And he pulls out the golf ball and Kramer's like, is that a Titleist?
Hole in one.
Hole in one. Oh my God. Such a fun show.
Yeah, I love the way George tells that story about how he climbed the whale and reached his hand into the blowhole.
He knew it was an obstruction and he tidal wave took him and landed him right in the blowhole. Oh my God, I laughed so hard.
The sea was angry that day, my friends. Like a something sending back soup in a deli.
Oh my God. How do you remember all of that? I have the worst memory.
It's a great moment in TV history.
Oh, it is good stuff for sure.
Oh, I hope you're drinking, by the way.
Oh, it's not a Weekender party without a drink.
Okay. I didn't want to drink tonight again. Like last week with Nikki, I didn't want to drink.
But it just feels right.
It does. It does. So here we go.
You know what it actually felt like? Like, I'm not going to lie. 8:30 is really late for me. Like, and I'm sure now with the babe, it's late for you. Like we wouldn't leave the house until, I don't know, 10:30. And we would pregame. So I felt like I was pregaming.
Yeah.
And I got like dressed, put a little makeup on, touched up the makeup.
This is your night out. This is
my night out. Oh, my Lord.
Man. So Katie was an account executive at The Weekender from, and if I'm wrong, correct me, 2005 to 2007.
Yes. Yeah. So I started the weekender. Well, you and I went to college together.
Yeah, I feel
And
like you even had the job locked up before you finished.
I did. I did. And I remember actually, I don't know, I was thinking about this yesterday or the day before. Were we in a psychology class or something together? It was right at the tail end of our senior year.
We were in a Photoshop class together.
Was it a Photoshop?
Photoshop class. It was I believe it was a Photoshop with Jane
Jane
Clements
Keeler
Moore.
Moore. Yeah, still hear or talk to her from time to time.
Okay.
But I remember you saying like, oh, I interned there, and I had just said that I had just gotten the job. It was literally about a month and a half before I graduated. And I'll never forget it. I started part-time, and Joe Student sat next to me because he was at the end of the cube. He was the editor at the time. I was in the middle, and I don't know who was next to me. I think Jerry. There was a Jerry guy. Remember that?
I think Jerry was gone by the time I got there full time.
But he was there.
No. What was his name? Shoot. I know who you're talking about.
Anyway,
yeah.
I remember studying for finals and Joe Student quizzing me on like all of the things. I would have index cards and he would be quizzing me for my finals.
That's funny.
So I thought, this is a really cool gig that I'm like getting paid to learn a new adventure, but they're also helping me finish college.
Yeah. So I remember I think you spoke out loud to the teacher.
That sounds about right.
And I overheard it. And part of me was a little jealous because, I mean, when I interned there, all I wanted to do after that was work at the Weekender. And you sat across the room from me.
What did I wear that day?
that day you may have been in like a black power suit.
But that probably. I'm teasing.
But no, I mean, we never really spoke in class. I mean, I was there in spirit, but I mean, like my mind was checked out. It was senior year, and it was elective. Now, looking back on that, I wish I would have paid more attention to Photoshop class because I could definitely use that now.
I know the very basics of Photoshop. I mean, at this point, though, if you don't use it every single day, it is you forget.
Yeah, I didn't even know the basics. I think, I know that the work that I had to hand in was not even done by me.
Don't put this on record.
Yeah, it's got to be like some kind of statute of limitation, right?
There has to be. We've been out a long time. So
yeah, it's been it'll be 16 years.
Oh God, don't say that. I literally just looked at somebody's ID and they were born in 2002.
Well, Katie, listen to this. Yeah, well, I mean, so anyone who's turned 21 this year was born in 2000.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It makes me feel really, really old.
Yeah, we're not young.
Well, I still feel like I'm 24 years old.
But you look fantastic, Katie. You do.
Thanks,
you're aging like that wine you're drinking. And you're a mom now, and you're married, and life is good, right?
Mm-hmm. Life is good. It's been really good, adventurous. And I thought, nothing could top the Weekender days and the years of my 20s until I had my son. I mean, and I know you could attest to this, and it's like the most fun. I can't really talk about it too much because I get so emotional because that's just how I think any parent feels this way, but I'm a little more emotional just because I don't know, it's just such a great blessing. And I'm just so thankful that I get to experience it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw or not, but I posted a video on my Facebook page a day or two ago.
Of the giggles?
Yes. I mean, I watched that probably 10 times a day and I almost start crying at just happiness, tears of happiness. Just like, I just can't believe that this is.
I know. No. Those are the moments that are going to be embedded into your mind for the rest of your life. Like I'm telling you, those giggles those little sweet little giggles don't last forever. So just cherish them as they come. Truly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, so let's go back, and then
Okay.
we'll come back to this moment in our lives. But let's go back to the start of the weekend, or 2005. You were in college. You already got accepted for the job. Um, how did you just apply? Like, what made you decide to apply at the Weekender and want to get that job?
Believe it or not, I think it was my dad who saw the pay. I mean, he works in a machine shop, so all the all the guys would get the Weekender, and my dad was looking in, I guess the classified section, and there was a posting. So I'm like, oh, throw my hat into the ring. Like I really didn't know what the Weekender. I mean, I knew what it was, but I didn't know what it entailed. So I submitted my resume. I got a call from Rachel to schedule an interview, and the interview was with Christy and Rachel. And I remember walking out of there thinking like, oh my God, Christy Greer is the sweetest woman on this planet. And I still believe that
She is,
to be
yeah.
true today. I mean, and I thought Rachel was just like cool. I thought she was like cool as hell. I'm like, I wanna hang out with these two.
I don't think that about Rachel to this day. I mean, she's at
I
home with her
do.
with her 10 cats right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I got a Christmas card from her. It was the funniest because it was like all of her cats
Yeah.
in different poses that they just do on their own. It was the funniest.
Rachel, I'm just kidding. I love you.
We love you, Rach.
But you've become a little less cool than you were
Agreed.
16.
I think we all have.
Yeah,
I think we've all been.
Yeah, well, it happens, right? We grow up and get mature, and
Do we get mature though? Because I think I like
maybe not. I mean, if a few drinks, and I'm probably the same way I was back then.
Yeah.
Which is why I drink much less now.
Get me and Rach in a room, or me and Janelle, or me and Leslie in a room with a few drinks. Forget about it.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
So you had the interview with Christy, and Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
And you left.
And I don't remember anything that they asked. I just remember, and I think anyone who knows Rach would know, like she was running late for the interview.
Of course.
And I called the phone, not realizing, because after you start working, you realize when the phone rings, it rings overhead.
Yes, I forgot about that. Wow.
I kept like psycho calling because I needed to get access in, and I was so nervous that I was going to be late that I kept ringing the phone and ringing the phone, and nobody was picking up. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to think that I'm late, and I'm not late. So all of those, things when you prepare for an interview go through your mind.
Right.
In reality, she was running late from, being held up at one of the accounts, which, as we know and had been in the position, happens. So, but afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, I totally knew that I was blowing up their phone like crazy.
That's okay.
So yeah, I started there beginning of May, end of April, 2005. And then I left June 27th, 2007 is when I started working for the casino.
Yeah. And we'll get to that too, because I mean, that worked out really well for me. I'm not going to lie. So thank you for leaving.
You're welcome. I was so sad, and I'll get to it, but like I bawled my eyes out when I gave my notice, and sad to hand all of my cherished accounts over to you.
I loved it. It was great for me.
I know. I mean, it was awesome. So I know you'd kind of attribute it to other people, but I think I've launched your career.
Maybe no.
You come on. You
launched my sales career.
Well, just give me some sort of credit.
Who did I give credit to? I guess, I was saying it was Christy because she was the one who interviewed me as an intern.
It was Rachel. It was blah, blah, blah. But
so here's a funny story, right? So you got the job in May or April, whatever it was. And then I did apply because there was another sales job open up. And Janelle interviewed for it. Mm-hmm. And then I also interviewed for it. And I didn't get it. Janelle did, which was it all worked out great. But the funny story was I did the interview and like I never heard back. And I actually showed up to one of the nights out. And I think it was at one of the bars down like in Exeter. I want to say like Carms. Was that a bar?
Carms, yes.
I think there was a deck party going on there, and the team was there, and I showed up, and I just wanted to like show support and kind of like feel out the situation. I remember running into Rachel again, and I think I wanted to like to talk to her or whatever. And she's like, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely once we take care of what we're doing here." And then before I know it, like she's jumping in her car and she left. I was like, "This is not good. This is
You're like,
not good."
I made every attempt to come down here to show my interest.
Yeah. So I think the job had already been offered and accepted by Janelle at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but things work out for a reason. I think like a month or two later, Christina Dugan, now Christina Romanchik, I think her name is.
Yep.
Yeah. She was leaving and I got the call.
I know. So. And see, like, I think it worked out exactly the way it needed to, because everyone was kind of placed almost strategically in their roles to be as successful as we were. Because I think maybe it's a bold statement to say this, but I think The Weekender was at its absolute prime when all of us were there. Is that too bold?
I don't think so. Because I mean, I feel that way, and I'm sure.
I mean, and it only excelled from there. So, I don't know. I think Janelle had the Scranton territory. I had, everything on, like from, I think it was 44 all the way down to Bloomsburg, and out to the back mountain. You were killing it with like coming up with creative promotions and, really kind of working what we had been working with, with the owners of the bars and restaurants. And so I don't know. I think it was really a really good time.
I feel like, to go off what you're saying, I feel like we just, all of us kind of immerse ourselves into the product itself. Like, and this is not taking away anything from anyone prior to us, because I'm sure.
Oh, no.
Everyone kind of, did their part, but like, I feel like we were more visible. I think we were constantly out in the public doing this and doing that and like, parades. And I don't know, maybe we're wrong, but I mean, I just feel like from we were all around the same age, except for Rachel. She was much older than we were.
I'd always throw that in her face. I'm like, you are so old.
Oh, so old.
Now we're old.
No, I just feel like, we just had that, like, we were just more visible.
That camaraderie. We all like kind of blended well together. We worked together well. We, like Nikki had mentioned, we fought like cats and dogs. But at the end of the day,
there was a moment that I thought that you really didn't like me.
Me?
Yeah.
This is not something I'm proud of, but I've heard that before. And I'm like, literally, I think I have like a heart of gold. And I'm sorry if I ever made you feel that way.
No, I mean, I wasn't like hurt by it, because like part of me, and maybe it's just our personalities, and I don't know what it is, but I don't want to say like part of me didn't like you, but we just had, I don't know. Like, I think we were both like, we're very, like, I'm not upset by it at all. Like, and I don't even look back on it saying like, oh, she hated me, I hated her at all. Not at all.
Right.
I just think we just have like, I don't know, like it's hard to explain.
Here's what maybe I could come from it, is that we're both driven.
Mm-hmm.
We're both focused. And when anyone or any obstacle stands in our way, we get frustrated.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I never felt that way about you.
Well, it's good. I never really felt that way about you either. I just, we just had, I think we just had this, like, it was weird. I don't know how to explain it, and I was trying to think about it before we jumped on this, but I couldn't. But there was always just like, not always, like at times there was like, I just remember like, because I took care of the Coors Live. So the Coors Live section in The Weekender was like almost like
sacred ground.
I mean, it was the best page in The Weekender outside of the Model and Man, really, because people would turn directly to that page to see, what bars had what bands, because that page, it was just a listing of the bars and the bands that were playing there. And I had to insert, like, you guys came back, it was all written on like this big, like 11 by 17 sheet of paper, almost maybe bigger than that, because I think it was like taped even. And you guys would come back, you would fill it out, and then I would get it, and I would have to like, type that up. Mm-hmm. And you would it was always Tuesdays too, like, and like working with these bar owners, like they're very busy.
Tough.
They're very busy, and like I feel like they never knew their band schedules until like that Tuesday afternoon or late evening. So like you would come back and you would like throw the Weekender Live thing on my desk, and I'm like, I do all this. Why can't you get it earlier? That kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
That wasn't my fault.
I know it wasn't. I mean, I was in your shoes after you were there. Like, I mean, like, I get it.
No,
It's one of those things.
I
Like,
think it's like we work so closely with these bar owners, right? Who don't have anything together until the last minute, which is rightfully so, because they've got 1,000,001 different things happening. But we talked to them all week and we're like, yeah, we're going to get you a good spot. And they're coming in at the, last minute, and we couldn't guarantee any spots at this point because they were getting filled up. So maybe, I don't know.
yeah, because I had to lay the paper out too. Like, I had to do all that stuff. Like, so, the owners would hold you up, then you'd hold me up, and I was the one left, like, just angry about it.
Well, I'm sorry that you're angry.
No. I don't even mean to like talk about it like that, because like it wasn't that big of a deal. I just remember those moments, specifically Tuesdays, where like if you and I ever butted heads.
Yes, I think Tuesdays everyone butted heads. Like Nikki would like, she would snap. Oh my gosh! And before that, even Leslie would get frustrated. And Leslie's like the sweetest soul. She is. Her and I have remained very, very, very close. She's a sister to me, and she would do anything for anybody at the drop of a hat. But she too, when we're all like focused on making sure we're doing a good job and doing it well. And on Tuesdays, it was just like, chaos. I don't care who's in the office. If you are not helping me, get my stuff done, get out of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, really quick. I don't think anyone, and maybe I missed it, but I've watched all of these, but I don't think anyone has ever mentioned about how we used to like run from Dan Rowe. Do you remember that? Like when he would come and collect the money the next day, because we would promise him like these bars would give us the cash or the check that he needed. Otherwise he wouldn't allow us to, but I would remember like, oh no, guys, Dan Rowe's coming. And we'd duck out the back and go on our way.
Yeah, shout out Dan Rowe. I wonder what he's doing. I see Trish. She posts a lot of pictures of their two kids, and looks like things are going well. But yeah, Dan Rowe, I forgot about him.
Dan Rowe's a good guy. He was the hammer though when it came to credit. You didn't mess with him. Yeah,
we had to like beg him sometimes because like we got paid commission too. So like we wanted the ads to run, and it's funny how like as a sales rep, we're always the people that are in face to face with our clients. So like everyone else can hide behind, like the designers can hide behind their cubicle, and Dan Rowe can hide in his office, but like we're the ones like bar owners don't care who Dan Rowe is or who Damian Pick was or whatever. Like they just see us and like it's our problem.
Yeah. And I remember plenty of times, and God love Rye Guy, because he like tagged along with me because we were dating, and we were very serious at the time. Sorry, you get to see the whole hallway there. But I would drag him out until 2-3 o'clock in the morning to get to a bar on Tuesday to get the cash in hand to give to Dan the next day.
Yeah,
and he would have to get up and get to work by 7:30, and he did it willingly. And I'm like, oh my God, how did we survive that time?
We were young. That's how
we were. Yeah, we were. Some really good nights.
We were young and we didn't care. Yeah.
No, that's.
And right now it's like what, 8:45? It's past your bedtime.
I'm like, oh.
See, I have a problem. I don't go to bed. So like now, once my kid's in bed and like it's like time for my wife and I to kind of spend together, and then she'll tap out kind of not early, like 10.
That's usually when I go to bed, yeah.
But then I will stay up until like midnight watching TV like an idiot.
Really? See?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, I'm like beat. Just life wears you down.
Yeah, it does. But I wish I had that energy we had at the Weekender, because that was.
No, then we could keep up with our kids, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I there was so many times I came to work maybe still drunk.
Oh my God. Sometimes I'm like, and if my parents are watching this, I'm sorry, but there's times where I would walk into the office and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should have drove to work this morning. There's been like, we could talk about all the crazy times, but two that stick out to me are, number one, we were at the St. Patrick's Day parade and I shouldn't say that, but Michael drove. Do you remember this? You were there. We piled all into his RAV4 and he decided he was going to be the DD that day. So whatever we did, most of the time we were really responsible, but he was the DD for that day. And we were on the top floor. I think you were already at the car. We were on the top floor
of
Tinks. Remember this?
Yeah.
We're going down the back stairwell and it was crowded. I think back, like, how in the world was this not a fire hazard? But we were going down, and again, in weekender gear and jeans and sneakers, and I slipped on what was, I could assume, spilled beer on the steps.
Or piss.
Or piss. Probably that. Yeah. Probably.
Or puke.
Oh God. I don't even want to know. But I'll never forget this. Michael was behind me. My foot hit the step and I took off like lightning all the way down one flight. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh my God, this hurts so bad. Michael's like, get up, let's go. I'm like, oh God, my leg is so sore. I get to the next, that was on the landing. I get to the next flight, down like lightning again. Boom, 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 boom. At this point, I was like dragging my leg. I'm like, oh my God. Michael's like, Katie, pull it together. Let's go. We have to go. I'm like, oh my God, you're forcing me out of here. I'm not kidding you. I probably had a bruise this big on my thigh for weeks afterwards.
Oh, wow.
And because I hit so hard. But Michael's like, just pull it together. Get out of here.
That was one. What was two?
And then the second time, I passed on 570 tattooing to you as an account, right?
Yeah.
So Gina at the time was hosting this, I think it was for domestic violence or children. And I don't remember what it was, but it was a benefit at the Jazz Cafe.
Okay.
And they were making red vodka snow cones. It was bad. I remember Ryan dropped me off. I'm sorry. I drove there I had just bought a new car. I drove there. Ryan came with his buddy, and which he would do all the time. And so by the time he got there, I was just having a good time. And poor Ryan, he just always kind of like, it's like, oh, she's at it again. So on the way home, I'm like, Ryan, he drove my car. He said, I'm like, and I didn't live too far from there. I just lived over the bridge. And I go, I think I have to throw up. He's like, do you want me to pull over? I'll pull over. I'm like, yeah, pull over. And then he starts to pull over. I'm like, no, don't. It's fine. Just take me home. No sooner did he hit the gas to go home, I just like threw up everywhere. Vents, my new purse, everywhere. I'll never forget it. The next morning I woke up, he goes, you need to go downstairs and clean out that car.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So it was the snow cones with vodka that really got me good.
That'll do it.
It was a Sunday afternoon. Like, who does that?
We did. And we were 22, 23 years old.
Those were the days.
They were the days.
I don't know though.
So, I mean, what was it like for you to be a sales rep as a female who is also, I mean, it's no secret that a lot of bar owners are men.
Yes.
So what was that like? I mean, things weren't as PG or, you know what I mean, back then. So, I mean, it was probably an interesting experience for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, obviously it was. I think going into these, you are intimidated. Going into these bar owners, I know the very first one that I walked into, and I've never done this before, but I'd worked multiple jobs throughout college. I wrote for the Pittston Dispatch. I worked at a small bar called Halftime. I
Yes.
also worked at the waterfront, and I did like a filing job on the side. I was always keeping busy. I always wanted to just keep doing more. So my short time at the waterfront, it ended with me walking out. And I never did that. Like, I remember calling my mom and crying. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. She's like, you just burned bridges, doing the mom thing. And sure enough, my very first account was the waterfront.
Waterfront, yeah.
And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And it was the same person I had walked out on. And I'm like, oh. But anyways, going back to your question, it was intimidating. But I think this goes back to who we had in our leadership roles, whether it be Rachel or the people that she reported to. So the Joe Buckowitzes of the world, the Susan Kalus of the world, they allowed us to kind of just be us and to sell the product that way, because people are going to purchase something if they like you, not so much about the product, but if they have a connection with you. And I think that's the approach that I took going into these bars and these businesses is like, listen, they have to like me first before they're ever going to buy anything from me. So I built a relationship. So I would go back week in and week out, even if they bought nothing, I would go continuously stop by and just say, hey, how's it going? How's business going? What's coming up this weekend? And I would, maybe throw it into a Coors Live, even though they weren't advertising with me. And over time, they became advertisers and they became friends and they became those individuals that I could turn to and say, hey, listen, we got a goal to meet and I need you to pull out an extra ad. And they would pull out an extra ad. And I think it was those relationships that don't happen overnight. They take time to build and to really develop, that are the lasting ones. And so, there were time, I walked into a good group of already existing places, but I also got new businesses to come and to join, the Weekender. So yeah, I think it was intimidating at first because I remember a time at the Jazz Cafe, and I forget the gentleman's name. Rob? Not Rob. You know who I'm talking about?
Well, Rob Friedman was the owner, and then
No, not him.
Tom.
Yes. I walked in and
Tom
he had
Moran.
Tom what?
Tom Moran.
Was it Tom Moran? I forget.
I believe so.
I walked in and he had such a poor experience with the Weekender prior to me, for whoever, I forget the guy's name who was before me, that I walked in to talk to him and he threw me out. He got literally nose to nose with me in the bar and disrespected the Weekender, disrespected everything. I remember I walked out of there in tears, and it was a Tuesday. And this just goes to show the type of leader that Rachel was and still is because it's a Tuesday, and every Tuesday is hell day at the Weekender. It was constant, business, driving everywhere, getting, our ads, making sure that they're running properly. You guys were laying out the ads back in the office. It was just chaos. And I called Rachel and I was so upset. I bawled my eyes out because this man was like face to face. That she's like, where are you? And I was on my way to Rosedale's, which is on the Sansui Highway.
Yes.
And she goes, where are you at? I said, I'm in front of the Spinning Wheel. Do you remember that diner?
No.
It's across the street from like that, the Burger King right there in that cross section, like the CVS.
Okay, I know where you're at. Yeah.
She goes, stop your car. I'm coming. And she dropped what she was doing on a busy Tuesday. And she went into the CVS. She got a card. It was a funny little card. And she filled it out and she met me over at the Spinning Wheels parking lot. And we went in and we had coffee. And she's like, listen, consider this. Oh, this is her famous word. Consider the source and don't even stress about it. And at that point is when I started to develop thick skin, and and not anybody, no one really upset me or bothered me to that point. Because I just kept thinking like, okay, it's not me that they're upset with. And if it is, I will do whatever it takes to correct it. But we'll find a solution to make this experience better for them. So.
And one thing I was going to say about you, You, much like Rachel, much like Susan Kayla, who you mentioned, the three of you really had this powerful female aura about you guys, which I always really loved. Like a lot of men are intimidated by that.
Mhm.
I think it's amazing. But going to go off what you said is you didn't let people see you like that. So in front of them, you were tough as nails. I mean, you may have left that account or a different account, whatever, and you may have come back to the office and been upset.
Right.
But that was a place you can do that.
Right.
But you would never let them see that fear
Mm-mm.
in your face, like face to face, which was
Right.
an amazing thing. So, I mean, that's awesome.
Thanks. Like I think that's something that I just kind of always had in me. My mom, and I see it in my son. I really do. He's a very strong-willed, and at times it's so frustrating. And my mom has said this to me, and her mother said it to her about me because I was the same way. I was bold. I never backed down. I was always needed the last word. And my mom's mom would always say, "Don't ever break her spirit." And I call my mom and I, vent about, Ben just being so strong-willed, and he's not afraid of anybody. And she's like, "Listen, don't break that little boy's spirit. He's going to do big things one day." And so I think it's just, you know, something that, again, maybe it's a middle child thing because I'm a middle child where I want it to kind of earn my spot. But I just, I try not to let anything really bother me because life is way too short. I've experienced far too much to let anything like that upset me, especially now as I'm older.
Yeah. You mentioned, and I think this is maybe where you and I may have butted heads, having the last word. I'm the
Oh
same
yeah,
way.
yes. So that's probably what it is. You need to have the last word. I need to have the last word. All right.
Yeah, I
We could
remember
have the
that.
last word together.
Yes, absolutely. And like we were like our cubicles were set up like so there was three across the back and then three on your side. So like you and I were across one another, but we had this,
Mhm.
this wall separate, so I never could see you. So like I could just hear you, and then you would hear me.
I'm like,
Absolutely. Oh man,
oh God, that's too
yeah.
funny.
But
For the
yes, I mean, like obviously, I think that job probably helped you. And you said this, like develop thick skin. And
Mhm.
I want to go back to Rachel too about like I don't think I think by doing what I'm doing here, and I won't mention a name, but she had messaged me something that she watched one of these, and she said I had no idea that that person had felt that way. Like this is why I did X Y Z.
Mhm.
And then I told that person because I was like, I think that person had like this grudge for a while, and I think their perception of the situation was different than Rachel's. So I shared it with that person, and it kind of broke down that wall and was like, oh wow, I didn't realize she did X, Y, or Z for that reason. And
Right.
um, Rachel was. I think any other boss would have fired me a few different times.
Right.
But
It's same.
going back to what you said, like we had leadership that kind of empowered us to be our own people, and Rachel always had our backs, no matter what,
100. And
which was always great.
that's so important in any sort of leadership. And so, as we continue through our careers, you always look at good leadership, your poor leadership, and you take obviously the strong portions of, all your leaders and combine it into one. But I truly believe, like I said, the Joe Buckowitzes and the Susan Kalos and the Rachels and the Christy Greers were ahead of their time in leadership in terms of like finding the right person who doesn't they're not looking for, oh my gosh, that person had years of experience in sales. They had that you know years of experience with graphic design. They found the right person and figured, you know what, we could mold them and train them to what we need, or how to sell, but allow them to just be them, and that's what's going to make the product continue to grow and to continue to build. And so I think I'm thankful for that because those are the type of people that I kind of thrive with. And I kind of, I lean more towards people who kind of just empower you, because we all know we have strong work ethics. We, would stay there long hours and do our things, but we knew that we were there for a job and for a purpose. But we also, knew that when that job was complete to the fullest, and we gave everything, that we could go out and have a good time and still really enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. I just started a new job last week, and
I heard. I'm so happy for you.
thank you. I'm only seven full days in. So, but what I've already felt in the 7 short days that I've been there is I feel like that atmosphere is what we had at the Weekender.
That's hard to get back.
It really is. And, as a 38-year-old, like, who would have thought that that could be achieved again? Because I mean, that was a special place at the Weekender because we were young and like we were doing this and that other thing. But my boss, and I'm not saying this, and I don't know if he'll even watch this, but it's nice that my boss doesn't feel the need to let me know, or let anybody for that matter know, that he's the boss.
Right.
I've had some bosses in the past that
drives
they
me
love
nuts.
to be the boss. They love letting you know that they're the boss, and they'll have daily morning meetings every day just to ask you what you're doing, where you're going, who you seeing, like just letting you know that they're the boss. And like that's just not a good way to motivate or empower your people.
Absolutely. Much like I had said, like when it comes to the Weekender, people need to like you first before they could buy anything off of you. Much like that, people need to like who they're led by and who they enjoy coming into work and working with and working for. And if that person always continues to say, I'm the boss, that just diminishes the morale and, makes you not want to, give 110%. And so that's important. When you find good leadership, you stick with them.
Yeah. And I'll say one more thing about my boss. I'm not trying to kiss his ass, but if you walked into that office, you wouldn't even know who was in charge.
Right.
You wouldn't even know. Like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's really neat. And, those are the leaders that are the most successful.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly. So I'm pumped. I'm thrilled to be where I am at. But
what are you doing there now?
So a little bit of everything. So I mean, I'm just learning right now. Mm-hmm. But sure. It's marketing, sales, and operations. So I'm working side by side with one of the owners, and just learning everything from the ground up. And we're actually moving to a new facility within the next few months. So cool. I'm just trying to be a sponge and absorbing everything that I can. And
that's all you can do.
Yeah. So it's been great so far. Like I said, it's only been 7 days, so it's very early, but I have a really good feeling about the future.
I mean, the minute that you walk through the door, if you made the right decision or not.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've been talking to Dave since they opened the shop in Kingston. I think it was 2009, I want to say. And I remember back then, I was in love with, being at the Weekender at that point. So, but I remember saying like, this is such a cool place. Like, this would be an awesome place to work. And it's funny how that things kind of work out because
full circle.
Yeah, it's really wild. And it's funny too because I don't think if the pandemic hadn't happened and certain things at the job I was at, financially, were affected and everything happens for a reason. Sure. So like I was just able to take this opportunity and run with it. Yeah. So, but I'm excited. But let's get back to that. I mean, you specifically said like, having this team, this culture, like, work hard, play hard type thing. And I feel like you were kind of, what's the word I want to use?
Oh boy.
like specifically selected for your next position.
Yes.
And I say that on purpose because I was talking to the gentleman who hired you and we were just kind of laughing about it. And so, yeah.
So going back to what I had talked about, leadership and, being kind of ahead of their time. And this just kind of proves that no matter, like, when you don't think anyone is watching, there's somebody watching. So you need to always just be genuine to who you are, um, because you don't know who is watching. And at the time, um, I was doing a deck party, and the gentleman who hired me, saw me there and said, he was, Leslie had worked at the casino at the time. And he's like, who's that? We need her on our team. And so it just so happened that the position was open, and I left. I mean, I interviewed for the job. It was really cool. I was kind of lost in the interview. I'm not going to lie, because I didn't really quite know what human resources was all about. And I was interviewing for a human resources job, but the position itself kind of married everything that we had done at the Weekender. So it was more like internal sales and planning events for team members and writing communications. And so I went to school for communications and marketing. So that was all right up my alley, and planning events. And we had done that at the Weekender. So, I thought I didn't want to leave the Weekender, but I knew that I didn't want to be in sales the rest of my life. And I remember taking a hard look at myself in the mirror saying, I can't live this lifestyle forever. And so I ended up leaving to go. I got the offer at the casino. It was a cut and pay. But I knew that there was bigger things going to happen, at a very early stage with a large company. So I said, worst case scenarios, I'm there for a couple of years and I find something else. I have a lot of connections that I've built with the Weekender. So I think I could, reach out to anybody to, see if there's any openings anywhere in sales.
You're
And
young
I knew
still.
I always knew that was something I could fall back on. So then I started at the casino June 27th, 2007, and I've been there ever since.
How has the pandemic affected your job currently?
It's tough.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's really tough. And it's something very emotional for, I think, all of us that are still there, because it's cost a lot of people their jobs.
Yeah.
We had to lay a lot of people off. And it's because of the restrictions that have been put in place. So that's the part of my job that I don't love. I don't love having to have those difficult conversations, because at the end of the day, I'm a human, and
Sure.
I think I'm more like, what's the term? I'm an empath. Empath, is that the word?
That's a word, yeah.
You know, it's a word, John.
I'm not
But I'm
smart, so I've heard the word before used in certain circumstances,
but basically, I feel everyone else's angst
okay.
or pain.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I can't watch something on Facebook that is upsetting to me, because I cry and I have to get off of it. I have to change Ryan always yells at me. He's like, why are you looking at these things? I'm like, I can't help it, because I immediately put myself in their shoes, and it upsets me. And so, having that part of my job is really difficult. And so during this time, as wonderful as it was, and I know this sounds kind of selfish, but because we've always and you too, you've always put your career first, right? Even after having a child, I would work long hours. I would be, doing whatever it takes to get the job done, whether it's, staying late for team member events or what have you. And I traveled a lot there for a while. I would fly out to Washington State. I was down in Atlantic City in Louisiana, and I had a newborn. And Ryan was left to kind of pick up the pieces. And Ryan's my angel. He's amazing, and he's an awesome dad. But I did it for the sake of my family. And so, it's hard. This whole year has been hard for everyone. But at first, we were all not laid off. We were furloughed, and we only thought it was going to last for 2 weeks,
Right.
and it ended up lasting much longer than that. And I remember at first I'm like, oh my God, I've never had to file for unemployment. I don't know what I'm doing. I cried, and Ryan came over and he just gave me a hug, and he's like, we'll get through this. And about a week into it, I'm like, I can't stay at home. Are you crazy? Like, I can't be a stay-at-home mom. This is nuts. And then about a week after that, I just embraced every single extra minute that I got to spend with my husband, with my son. And I wouldn't have changed it for the world at all. It was like the best few months. And I know I hate saying that because there's people who have been struggling and are continuing to struggle. But for me, I try to look at the blessings. And I think that was a true blessing. I mean, I think the whole world needed to slow down because we were just constantly going.
And you're right. And yeah, you should never feel that way. I mean, so many people that I've talked to have said the same exact thing you did. It gave them opportunity to slow down and just kind of look around the room and say, wow, like this, I have this, and this is all that really matters in the world, referring to your, your family. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, definitely never feel guilty for that.
I know I try not to, but I also got that part of me that feels for other people. I mean,
No, I understand. Yeah, for sure.
I think, oh man, I enjoyed part of this where people really.
Yeah. I mean, it's a terrible situation. And unfortunately we're still in it. This is
Right.
almost a year now. And, I don't know where you're at. I know your son's 5. And I've said, to go off what you're saying, like I'm in a good situation because my son is 3 and he's still able to attend daycare. So there are families, and thankfully my wife, both, and I have jobs. And I can't imagine what it's like for, married couples who, have children that were supposed to be in school that can't go to school, that,
Oh,
in at home learning, virtual learning, or, even
hats
worse.
off to all of them.
Yeah. Or a worse scenario, a single mother, who has to work. Like, where do the kids go? Like, how do they learn? Like, the mother can't stay home. She has to work, right? Like,
Okay.
it's such a weird, and I can't imagine. And I'm so thankful that I do not have to
Worry about that.
worry about that right now. But I think about that a lot. And I think about the impacts that this has had on everyone financially. I mean, people think about, oh, this hurt the entertainment industry, or it hurt the hospitality industry, and it has. But like, it trickles down so far. And I use this as an example. Like, my cat has diabetes. He needs insulin shots twice a day. So when we would travel or on vacation, I have to hire a woman to come to the home to administer these syringes, right?
Oh,
So if I'm not going on vacation, that person's not being, paid for her services. So I mean, it goes so far down. Not that her job is minuscule at all. I mean, like, she is the best. Like,
right.
I hope she doesn't hear this, but like, the way I come home to my cat is like a disaster. And the cat area is always clean, and she stays in place with the 2 cats for like a half hour or so.
Right.
Like, I would pay her more than what she
Right.
charges. Like, but don't charge me more. But yeah, I mean, it's wild how
And
this is
to
bad.
your point, it does trickle down. And I don't know if you know this, but Ryan and I also own and operate a car lot.
I do.
So during that time, I mean, that whole uncertainty of I'm now unemployed for a short period of time, and we can't operate our business because under the governor's orders, there was no car sales allowed. So, in our busiest months, because of, tax season and tax returns, all of that, it was completely cut out. And so you're left looking like, oh my God, like what is going to happen? Like, we're a small business owner, and that's And all of these small businesses we can certainly relate to and understand. And that's why we try to, shop and eat local all the time, because it's so important to these businesses during this time. It just, we had a detailer who we couldn't bring back just because we needed to make sure that we were able to get everything and up and running again. And so so we had to put one person out of work during that time, and it was difficult, very difficult.
I do not envy small business owners.
Yeah,
so
it's tough. I mean, it's tough. I'm not in it day to day. I just have part of my name on it.
Yeah, it's RAK, correct?
Yeah. You know what that stands for, don't you?
I want to say Ryan, and the K for Katie.
It's Ryan and Katie.
Okay. Is that simple? All right.
Yeah. See, that's simple. And so we were literally thinking of names one night when we knew that we were like going to start the business. We found the location, but that was it. And we didn't have a name picked out. And I'm like, we were sitting on our back porch at the time. We're drinking Miller Lite, and we're like, Miller Motors? You think Miller Motors is good? that got voted down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By who? You?
Yeah. I'm like, that's so cheesy.
Miller Motor. I like the
M&M, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So actually a guy that Ryan used to work with came up with a name. We're like, perfect.
There you go.
Stick with it. Yeah.
And it's RAK Auto.
Yeah, RAK Auto Sales. It's in Luzerne. It's across from the Garrity Shopping Center. So if you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check us out.
If you go to RAK, I want 10% of the sale. I'm totally kidding. I wish. I want to get this podcast platform to the point where like I have that much impact on like.
I hope you do.
I hope I do too.
You do.
That's why I wanted to do this. Just I want to make a difference.
You are making a difference, and I've seen not only these but like the other ones that you have done, and I just think number one, it's cool. Number two, you've marketed yourself so well that it's, for me, it seems like it's everywhere, and you'll get there. You absolutely will get there. And consistency, I think, is absolutely key. And so just keep showing up and putting your face in front of everyone on a regular basis. You will absolutely take off.
Well, hopefully, 2 years from now, I'll have millions of followers and listeners and viewers, and you can come back on. We'll promote the shop again, and we'll sell millions of cars.
Maybe somebody will buy a car. But you need to make sure that I'm included in your success story, because I left and I sent you right into stardom.
Well, I mean, I said it before, like I benefited greatly from you leaving, because I mean, I saw like the money, like not saying you guys were rolling by any means, but like I saw, like I knew how much the ads cost because I think I was the one inserting them most of the time. And I didn't know how much you guys were getting on commission. It didn't matter to me, but I mean, I can only assume. And here's me, I'm making like $10 an hour, which is, I remember when I finished college, I remember saying like, I can't believe I get paid to do this. And it wasn't even like I get paid. It
wasn't about the money. Yeah.
I'm just like, I get paid to go out and party and go to work. And it never felt like work at all, ever. Like it really never did until like the very end. So
that's when it's time to leave.
Yeah. Well, there was so many different things that were happening. I mean, like from the time that we started in 2005 to 2013 when I left, I mean, it was a completely different paper, and for many reasons. It wasn't just ownership or management. It was, just social media, and then just how people consumed media was just much different. It was night and day, really. Right. But so yeah, you left, and like I'm like, it's time for me to grow up a little bit. It's time for me to like make some extra money, and it was really seamless because I mean I was so in tune with your accounts, because I was helping do like the fun stuff for them, so I already knew like almost all of them. So it was there like, hey, this is John, like, oh yeah, we know John, like this is great, like
right. It was an easy transition.
And you had the biggest territory too, which was like sweet. You
Yeah.
you had Murray's and you had nightcaps and you
I
had
had, I had like a really good territory. And I'll tell you
yeah.
what, I've learned so many roads in this area because of the weekender. Like
Yeah.
I would literally, so like a Wednesday, right after the paper we would sift through and go through, see what errors or what ads had errors. We would then disperse and go to try to pick up the remaining part of our money that Dan Rowe was after. And then we would go, myself, Janelle, we would meet up for lunch, and then we would just like disperse into our territories, and we would do random cold calls or check up and make sure. We would actually, a lot of the times we were delivering weekenders to places because they weren't delivered there. So I used to have like bundles wrapped in the back of my car at all times.
Yep.
But I remember like realizing that if you go down Route 11 over the bridge, past Chickasha, over the bridge into like, is it Nescapec? Or I don't even remember,
I
but
don't know.
it ends up taking you down past Heller's Orchard, and then it all marries up right into Berwick.
Okay.
And it's like, I just realized I'm like, everything's like a big giant circle, and it just kind of all connected. And I learned that at a young age, driving around, trying to figure out who to get to do an ad in the weekender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite moments? I know we talked about two, but they were more like
That's a good question. I think, oh geez, there was a lot of, I mean, anytime that we got together outside of work related functions, I think were some of my favorite. Like we would always go to Hops, we would go to Liam's, we would go to Nightcaps to see a band, and to like, I just remember seeing, oh my God, speaking of Panacea, I wish Polly would have been able to like pop on with us. But like, I think that goes down in weekender history. Like, I'll never forget. We were at Oyster. We were drinking
yes.
whatever those martini drinks were.
Was this Reader's Choice, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
It was Reader's Choice. And we were walking back to Rachel's car because we were going to the bar above Gelpia's, which is Kevin's. What was that bar? Furia? Not Furia.
No, that was Brews Brothers. Furia was above Brews. Shit. Gelpia's, I don't remember.
Martini Room, Martini Bar.
No. Gelpia's, I don't remember. God.
Man. Anyway, I remember, I don't know if Polly invited me to a piggyback ride or if I just assumed he wanted a piggyback. He was cool with me jumping on his back. But listen, let's be honest. I am not a petite girl by any means. So it's like a load of bricks coming at him from behind, with probably a little bit of being intoxicated on top of it for him. So his like balance was probably off to begin with. And you have me barreling at him as if I'm like a freight train, and I just knocked him to the ground. I think I flipped over him. And I remember we were in Rachel's red car, and I was sitting again. I don't know how Ryan dealt with me, because he always kind of just showed up and he would like go along for the ride. But I remember like crunched into Rachel's car, and we went over there to end the night. And that was that. I mean, those were like, that was a really funny time. And I remember like a couple nights later, we were watching Panacea at Nightcaps, and poor Polly, he would always wear shorts. His legs were busted.
Really?
Oh, they were tore up. I felt so bad.
Poor Polly.
But yeah, I think just meeting a whole lot of, I think there's not one time that I think I could just put a finger on it. I think meeting really great people that are amazing, like Big Rob. Remember Big Rob?
Big Rob, yeah. I saw him like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, like just a good salt of the earth guy. Meeting business owners and building relationships with those business owners. I think is something that I'll always cherish with the Weekender, and I talk about the Weekender with people even to this day as if I worked there last year.
Yeah. It was definitely, I mean, I love my life and where it is now, but like,
Oh, for sure.
that was such a wonderful 9 years of my life, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that or
Right.
for you leaving. Does that work? Is
I
that
love
good?
the plug. Yeah, the plug
Is
is
that good? All
really
right.
good.
All
Yeah.
right.
Keep doing it.
But and you're right. I mean, like working with people in their business and becoming part of it. I mean, that's really special, and
Yeah.
not everyone gets to do that. Not everyone gets to see how the sausage is made. And
Right. And that's the truth. Like I remember sitting on the ground in a suit at 570 before it even opened. And she was drafting out a ad for the paper. And I thought, this is pretty cool to watch this business kind of flourish from the ground up. And we got to see that a lot of places, and that I think are, and again, I was only there for, 2 years.
yeah,
Yeah, 2 years or so. So it wasn't I wasn't there for a long time, but it was enough time to build a solid foundation of relationships.
it's funny too because there were a lot of people who weren't there long. Like I keep saying that the longest tenured people were, me, Rachel, Mikey G. Um, well, Nikki was there for a while. If you include her internship, I think that was 7 years. But like, I feel like everyone left their mark, whether they were there for. I mean, Leslie was there for 9 months. I think it was 8 or 9 months. Like,
And we had so much fun while she was there.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Did you get a chance to talk to Damien yet?
not yet. He's on the list though. He agreed to do it. I just gotta get
Oh
him
my
down.
gosh. Did we talk about the time, I think it was Damien, about when you guys were about throwing that blue ball back and forth and Rachel cut it up?
Oh
Was
my
that
God,
Damien?
that was
Do you
with
remember
Damien.
that?
Yeah, but did Rachel cut that up?
Cut it up in pieces and put half on your chair and half on his chair. And later that day, she heard doo, 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 doo. And here Damien glued it all back together. It was like a puzzle piece.
He glued we were missing one small
I
sliver.
remember that.
He glued that back together. And that I thank you for bringing that up. I forgot about that. I had that for the longest time. I don't know how or why I got rid of it.
Oh my God. That was probably the hands down funniest thing because Rachel's like, yeah, I got them. They're like
them.
tiny itty pieces.
Slivers,
And,
yeah.
like literally that plastic, you get them at like Pee-wee football games.
Well, they were
right?
they were like giveaways. Like they were, promotional little rubber footballs.
Yeah. And so I remember she's like, I got them good. And they will not throw that ball one more time because all she would hear is like doo, 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 back and forth. And all of us almost fell over when Damien glued every single piece back together.
I don't even know. I'll have to ask him. I hope I remember to ask him. But like, I don't even know how he went about starting that because that's insane.
Like, yeah, where do you start?
Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, he put it back together. There was still air in the middle of it.
Right.
How do you do that?
And I think that's his creative mind. That's why he was so good at what he did, is because he was so creative. And I don't know, but it was, that was definitely one to remember.
Well, he's the one who drew the Weekender logo on that wall.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
We painted that, yeah. I don't know if he did that. I don't think he did it freehand, but he's the one who mapped that out.
I did not. I forgot about that. I mean, I remember the wall very well because we have a lot of pictures in front of it.
Yeah.
Like our number one sales and marketing team.
And that goes back to us being visible. Like women, people, I think some people would have saw that as like us being full of ourselves, but like we wanted people to know who we were and not to be like, oh, look at us. It was more like, we're here. Like if you need us, come to us. There's
a face to a name.
Let's make something happen. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah. Oh my God. But those were some good times. What was your favorite? Has anyone asked you that?
Everyone asked me that, and I can't pick just one, but You did remind me. It was the weekend of her birthday. It was November. I think it was November. Day of the
13.
party. It was at the waterfront. It was my friend. I was only there for like 2 months at that point, but I think it was, yeah, it was '05. And I was with Paulie from Panacea, and he was drinking Hennessy. And for some
Oh,
reason,
typical.
I thought that I could hang with the big dogs, and I was a shit show. I mean, that's probably one of those moments that I could have been fired for. You
But you
are,
know what? You were building relationships.
yeah. I mean, look at me now.
Look at you now. It's all because of the Hennessy.
Yeah, but I mean, and then there was the Halloween party at Murray's in 2006. I remember Josh Rosenblatt was this pirate, and we were throwing toilet paper from the top balcony, like across the room.
Oh, we were like, good Lord, there are some good nights. Like I remember after we would get done, we'd go over to Goodfellas. Is it Goodfellas for that pizza? Is that on South
Oh
Franklin?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Not
yeah.
Franklin,
Yeah.
South Main
South
Street.
Main Street. Yeah, I don't know where it's.
What were we doing at 3:00 in the morning? Going to pizza place at
No.
South Main Street in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah.
Like we wouldn't be here to talk about it these days.
Yo, so Outsiders, Lou.
Yeah.
It's like I ran into him 3 months ago. Like he's like, I guess he's like kind of back in.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he's doing like lunch now. I mean, it's kind of like
Outsiders is reopened.
Well, it's not reopened in that like he's serving alcohol and like all that kind of stuff.
No. Meaning like it's back.
3 months ago, he was trying to make a run, like doing lunch and like just takeout, like service type things. But he was like, we were talking. He was talking to me. He's like, I would love to get involved with what you're doing. Maybe you can help me out, like just getting this off the ground. Yada yada yada. I haven't talked to him since.
We literally spent a lot of our Friday nights there, Friday or Saturday nights there.
Yeah,
that was always such a great place to see a band. Always,
it was.
No way. That was one of my accounts too.
Yep.
And I always dealt with Lou and Autumn.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know how I remember all of this, but that was such a cool.
I'm glad.
Place. It went downhill a little bit though.
Well, yeah, a lot of things happened.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things happened. I guess he's always owned the building. But
no,
yeah. But I'm glad you mentioned Rosedale because I drove past there a few weeks ago and I couldn't remember. It's like a car lot now.
Is it really?
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called. Rosedale.
It was Jackie was the owner. She passed away.
Did she?
She did. And her husband, and he also passed away.
Jeez.
I forget. They were so nice. And I remember there was days that I have to tell you a funny story too. Judy from Mr. Fashions.
Mr. Fashions, yes.
I loved her. She was the greatest. Every time I would walk in, she'd pour me a cup of coffee and I'd sit there for 2 hours just BSing with her.
Yeah.
And like that, those are the memories that I love so much is because I really cared about each of our accounts. Like they each meant something to me. But yeah, she'd always pour me a really
how
good
she's
cup of
doing.
coffee.
I forgot about her because I took that over too.
Yeah. And then her daughter owned Silver and Dyes. I don't know how I'm remembering all this.
I don't know how you remember. This is great.
I know.
This is awesome. Yeah.
And then there was another, I don't know if I should have mentioned the business's name, but
Miss Billy's.
I'm not mentioning it.
Miss Billy's.
Do you remember this incident?
No.
Okay. So it was my account. She was a tough egg to crack.
She was interesting. Yes.
If you are watching, I appreciate all that you do and all that you've done, but you were a tough egg to crack because she liked the guy before me, the sales rep before me.
Oh, by the way, it was Greg.
Greg.
Yes.
That's Anthony, right?
Greg Anthony, yes.
Yes. Okay, I got it. So she liked him far more than she liked me.
Sure.
So I tried very hard to win her over. I would go in and visit on a regular basis. I was there when she moved her business from behind Murray's to Sansui.
Yep.
Or off the Sansui. What is that, Carry Ave?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I invited her to a weekender party, deck
There you go.
party.
Got the invite.
Got the invite. She gave
Everyone
me
was invited, but she was invited special.
She got a special verbal invite from me. Like invitation. Here you go. I got a gift card. She gave me a gift card. Like I was really in. I was excited about the progress I had made. She brings her husband, or I'm sorry, not her husband, her boyfriend. So I said hello to her. I said hello to him. I engaged in conversation at the deck party. It was at the Woodlands. I think it was the end of year. And Rachel will remember this, so you could ask her. But maybe it's only funny to us. But anyway.
A lot of this is probably only funny to us, but I don't care.
I know. Who cares, right?
I don't care at all.
And that's the beauty of getting older. I honestly, I don't care. And it's great. But going back to that. So the next day I called her and I had said, hey, insert Miss
Billy.
Okay. I just wanted to see how you enjoyed yourself. She's like, oh, we had a great time. Thank you so much. I'm like, was that your boyfriend? She's like, yeah. I'm like, he's so handsome. I'm glad you were able to join us. And something flipped. And she went off. Who do you think you are calling my boyfriend handsome? And like laid into me. I'm like, Miss Billy, I am so sorry. Like it was simple. It was simply just starting a conversation.
Casual, yeah.
I'm just thankful that you were there. By no means was it a disrespectful comment. Like with all due respect, he's my dad's age. Like I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She's like, I'm calling your boss. Hangs up on me. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Rachel. She's like, what? I'm like, Miss Billy's going to call you. I'm getting in the car and I'm driving down there to talk to her face to face. And she's like, wait, slow down. What's happening? And so I told her. And so I went down and I put my tail between my legs and I walked in. I'm like, Miss Billy, I am so sorry that, my comment had offended you. There was no way, like, I'm not trying to hit on your boyfriend at all. I'm just thankful that you were there. So it was like the cleanup duty on aisle 2.
That's funny.
Yeah. It was
those
funnier
were
at the time.
Those were interesting accounts. Not as much those. It was the massage places that were.
Not to point at you, but one of the people that you talked to, who was it about the masseuses?
Jane.
Yeah. And you're like, I don't know what they do. And I'm like, John, I feel you, man, because I didn't know either.
But did you want the experience? Because I was like offended that no one asked me.
No, I didn't want the experience. I knew something bad and something not good was happening. But I remember asking the one, she was on, I don't even remember, planes. She was in the Tough Techs complex.
Yes. What's her name? But she was just like the face of the business. Like she was just, she would.
Yeah. I don't remember.
She still like likes and comments on some of my like photos of like.
Then I won't say thing. No, she was actually really, if it's the same person we're talking to, she was really sweet. But I remember saying to her, like, what actually happens? She goes, oh, Katie, don't be so naive. I'm like, oh, okay. And I left. I'm like, what the heck is that supposed to mean? Like, I need to know. Now I really need to know.
I never saw any funny business. And
there was hot tubs in the room, John.
I never went back there.
Well, they showed me when it first was installed.
Yeah, and I like I said, I feel like a little like what the heck? Why didn't they try and like seduce me?
Why weren't they hitting on me?
Why weren't they trying to seduce me? It's like this isn't funny. I shouldn't say it, but like no, I won't say it. But yeah, just say it. No, I can't even remember what it was from, so it wouldn't even make sense. And it would just make me look bad and sound bad.
I would just laugh at you.
But no, you know what? It was It's Always Sunny. It was, and like there was like a pedophile like gym teacher or something like that, and like he had molested like a student, and I think it was Always Sunny. But like the one that didn't get molested was like, why didn't I get molested?
Oh my
not
gosh.
not that children
No,
molestation
not that we're making light of that.
we're not condoning that
And
behavior. We don't approve of that behavior, but
no, not at all.
unfortunately, it does happen. And
Right.
if we can make that an end, we'll try to do that. But yeah, so I was like, why am I not being seduced into
Is there something wrong with me?
Yeah, is there something wrong with me? Well, I probably looked like a narc every time I came in there because I had a fucking suit on.
Yeah, they're probably
Or
like,
not a
guys,
suit,
clean
but
up, clean up,
yeah.
room 2, 4, and 6.
I
John's here.
remember that place next to it was the Getaway in like Plymouth.
Yeah, on the Sansu. No, the Getaway.
The Getaway is in Plymouth.
It sit up high.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like initially a double wide trailer.
Yeah. Oh yes.
They did build a nice facility after that, but there was like a place right next door.
The carousel?
No, that was down the road. But it was a massage parlor right next door.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It was like M. Oh my God.
Remember.
They were my account. They didn't run all the time.
I don't remember.
It'll come to me.
Well, you keep thinking, but I remember like walking in there and like getting the money from her, and she like she had like knee-high boots on, and like I doubt she's gonna watch this or listen to it, but like she was not attractive, and like she dug real deep, like all the way down, and she pulled it out, and I'm like, oh my God.
In her boot? In her boot?
In her boot, her probably sweaty, stinky boot.
Oh.
I would have rathered it come from her fucking cleavage.
Oh, John, that was bad. I would have been like, you know what? Let that dry out a little bit.
This one's on me. Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you remember Anya today?
Oh yeah. Don't say her name 2 more times.
I know. She was like Beetlejuice. And I'm sorry if she's listening. I don't know.
I doubt she is.
I doubt it too. But literally,
she was a nice person, right? She was nice.
So nice.
I feel bad for her, actually.
But I just remember she tried to fit a lot of information, including eyelashes, into a 1-by-1 ad in the back of the paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel bad for her. You know, looking back on it now, I mean, like, back when we were younger, it was not that we laughed. We didn't laugh.
No.
That's not the right word. But we were like, it was like, oh my God. Like, but now that, you know, what led her to that life?
Right.
You know, like, how does she get to that point?
I don't know. But she wouldn't come around for months. And then somebody would say her name literally 3 times. And she would walk through the door.
The door would open. Like, we're all here. Like, who's coming in?
I'm like, oh no, Anya.
And you had a bad seat. You had a bad seat.
I know.
You guys were all
like,
exposed.
View. It's like, oh, she's here.
There's
no escaping.
Yeah, I had a nice area because I would be able to like run out the back door.
Oh man, yeah, that was that was interesting.
Wonder what she's doing. There's another girl too. Roxanne? What?
Can you come up with a different name?
I think that's what her name was. Roxanne. You don't have to turn on. I don't know.
Oh, I keep bust out. You just don't want to hear my singing.
I don't even know the words, so.
Roxanne. That's all I know too.
Yeah. Something about red light. You don't have to put on the red light. No. Oh man.
Ooh, funny.
Josh Rosenblatt. Remember, like I just talked about him about the party we had, the Halloween party. He was a great guy.
I love Josh.
He's a great guy. He's not like
I have some good like outside of Weekender stories with him. He's just like a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He always, I don't know, he was always up for a good time.
He was.
Always. And
he loved you guys. He loved you and Rachel and
yeah. And he was like a protector because when Ryan wasn't there, he made sure that I was fine. And, you know, even if we were out late, he was just like, he was a protector. He's such a good guy.
Yeah. I saw him. Last time I saw him, we actually went for sushi. This is going on 4 years ago, which is a shame because when we did it finally in 2017, we're like, let's not wait another X amount of years. Here we are. It's almost 4. So Josh, if you're watching this, let's go grab some sushi.
Wait, I'll be in. I just started eating sushi.
What?
Yeah,
You just started?
Yeah, Godzilla roll and Christy, if you were watching and you could chime in, you would have been able to tell me. The girl that I work with, she's got me on it. So Godzilla roll and what's California roll? What is that?
Well, what's the boring? It's just like
all right, it's the starter. You got to start somewhere.
It's the rice. It's the
I can't do anything.
And I think carrots or something.
No, there's not cucumbers. There's not carrots. It's like
cucumbers.
Shrimp tempura.
Shrimp tempura, yeah, but California
and whatever.
Roll.
Hey, all right, don't make fun of my sushi selection. It'll expand eventually.
When did you start?
Over the summer, maybe.
When?
Over the summer.
Like last year?
Yeah. I know. I'm late to the game. I tried it a couple times.
All right.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah. Avocado, crab, cucumber. Told you cucumbers in there.
Okay. All right. Yep. But I do it with soy paper.
Okay.
I can't do the seaweed stuff.
Fair enough.
What is that? Is it called seaweed?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the other one.
That one. Yeah, that one.
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Whatever it's called.
What's your spot? Really good. Where do you go?
We always get takeout from Shogun.
Good spot.
Yeah. Right. Rye's not big into it, so I don't get it outside of like when we order for lunch.
You gotta go for the spicy Connie salad.
Spicy what?
Spicy Connie salad.
Yeah, what's in that?
It's like shredded like crab and like a spicy mayo type thing and cucumber.
Now you're my language.
It's really good. Really good.
Okay.
Highly recommend it.
Spicy
Connie salad.
Oh, salad.
Salad.
I already messed it up.
You can get a spicy Connie roll as well. But the salad is where it's at.
Okay. I'm up for new
and spicy scallop rolls.
Okay.
Top notch.
I'm not a big scallop fan.
Okay. Spicy tuna and avocado.
Okay.
Are really good.
Okay. I'll have to try those.
Yeah. I think one of my second experiences of eating sushi was with Josh Rosenblatt.
Get out, really?
Yeah. My first time was I was traveling with Lesson 1 to like the Jersey Shore, and they were
in my account too.
Lesson 1? Mm-hmm. Yep. They were traveling out of town. I went with them to do a story. We did the all access column. And it was 06. It was summertime. And they were getting sushi. And I was like, I've never had it before, but I'll try it. If I get sick and die, this is it.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm like, I hate anything like stomach flu, stomach bug, like throwing up. So I don't want to try anything new.
I had one bad experience with sushi my entire life. So in the last 15 years, it was at Katana. And the only reason
I pour more wine.
Yeah, the only reason I knew it was Katana was because when I threw up later on that evening, it was like the seaweed paper. That came out. So I don't know what happened there, but I mean, I went back. I mean, everyone has a bad day, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But really quick on another note, you said your son's 3.
Yes.
How's 3 treating you?
Well, I don't know if you saw a video that I posted a few weeks ago where
at the dinner table?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny, but and he's very particular, and I don't know where he gets it from. Like there's like a sequence of events, even bath time. Like I can't start the water while we get undressed, which I don't understand. Like I'm like, dude, like the water has to get warm and the bath has to start filling up so that you can get into it. Nope. Like you have to undress me, and then like every day is different. So it's either his pants first, and then his socks, and then his shirt, or like first his socks, then his shirt, then his pants. Or God forbid, like he needs to do his pants or underwear or whatever. But then he gets into the tub, and then I can start the water. Well, not immediately. I have to get his permission to start the water. Like,
oh my God.
yeah. And even today, like I had my jacket on the back of the chair. Like I think I learned. But so those of you just listening, like my son yelled at me for having my jacket on the back of a chair. He said, "Put your jacket away. I'm not going to tell you again."
Where
Or
does he get that from, John?
his mother. Because she even admitted it, because like he started off with like, he's like, "Put your jacket away," and I said, "How about you sit down and eat?" And then he said, "First of all, you don't talk to me like that. You need to put your jacket away. I'm not going to ask you again."
They are the funniest. I swear, the age our kids are in, like 5 is hilarious too. So, oh my God, that is. I love watching those videos. So keep posting them. Like they crack me up. Ben is the same way. Like the other day, obviously I don't have a video of this, but he said, I'm getting ready in the bathroom upstairs in our bedroom. And I said, Benjamin, you need to go get changed. Your clothes are laid out on your bed. Please get changed. We're running late for school. Ryan had to go to a dentist appointment. And he's in the bedroom and I hear him gagging. He's like, ugh, ugh. I go, babe, what's the matter? He goes, what, Mom? I go, babe, what's the matter? What, are you okay? He goes, yeah, I'm just smelling my armpits. I go, get in here. Let me smell those things. They're fine. But like they come up with the funniest thing.
Yeah. Just tonight, Lincoln said, he said something followed up by "duh." I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Where the hell did that come from? Duh.
What do you say? Like they literally shock you to the point where like, oh, where did that come from? I know I didn't teach him that.
Yeah. Thankfully.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is 3 tough for you? Like 3 was so tough, especially with my strong-willed child.
I don't know if it's tough. I mean, I haven't experienced anything that I was like, wow, this is a lot different than, a 2-year-old. Just the mornings, like the mornings, sometimes like he just wakes up really early, wants to come in bed. Like when I say early, like I'm like 5 o'clock as opposed to like getting up at 7. Or if he just doesn't get enough sleep, like trying to get him ready for daycare is just a nightmare because he wants mom to do this or wants to watch TV. It's like, dude, like we gotta go.
I know it's hard. It's hard.
They don't want to move. They don't want to do what they need to do. And it's like, okay, I don't want to start the day off like this.
I was gonna say, does he have tantrums? Like Ben was tantrum central.
He has not yet.
Did he just turn 3?
He just turned 3 in December, so
I'll give it some time.
Yeah, the only time he kind of melts down, and when I say melts down, like you can do something like or like say something wrong, and he'll just like cry. It's like when he's hungry, or if he's just overtired. Like, so.
Yeah, no, Ben was. I mean, and he's cute as a button, so that makes it much harder. But he was meltdown after meltdown. And I don't know. He's just very strong-willed. And everything we would do, he would do the opposite. Everything I would say, he would say no. Like I'd be like, go in timeout. He's like, no, I'm not going. I'm like, yes, you are. No, I'm not. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any of those yet. Thankfully, he's still on the stage where it's like, do you want to go in timeout? And we'll continue to not do what you need him to do. And I'll start counting 1, 2, and at 2, he'll start like listening. So we're still
that worked for about maybe a month.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep fingers crossed there.
I pray that he stays believe me, Ben is such a good boy, but
sure.
I pray that your child doesn't have the terrible 3s. That's all.
Yeah, so he won't watch this, obviously. I mean, even if he does, he won't understand what I'm saying. But I'd have to let him watch this, so that won't happen. But I was like, he doesn't like if there's a room with a door shut, like he won't try and go in it. He just kind of like just does, and just kind of goes with the flow. And I'm kind of like, I'm happy that he's not like, trying to get where he's not supposed to be. But I'm also like, why aren't you trying to get where you're not supposed to be? Like,
Right.
do I have a kid that just like isn't interested in breaking the rules and
No, he'll get there. He'll get there. He's just not, he's got other things on his mind. Like like, I hear all these horror stories of like, I think you even had said about the marker or something on your couch, people saying crayons on the wall. Ben never, ever even thought of doing that. Not that he never had a crayon in his hand. He just never thought. Like, so I think to myself, like, did he know better? Probably not. But why didn't my kid? Not that I wanted him to, but like, why
right.
wasn't he drawing on the walls? So they're all just so different.
Yeah, Lincoln had that just the one incident, and I didn't even yell at him. I didn't even know what to say to him when I came in. And it was when we were working from home and that whole thing, and he just took the pen off me because he was like sitting next to me with my notebook that I had for work, and I was on a Zoom call. He was just scribbling on the notepad, and next thing I know, he took off with it. And I'm on the call, and he's really quiet in the room. And I walked in, and like it just had pen all over the couch. And I'm like, "What did you do? Mom is gonna kill us!"
I know.
And like his face, I don't know if you saw the picture. His face, like he knew immediately. Like, oh no. I kind of felt bad. Like I didn't yell at him. Like I didn't even know what to do. Like it was over and done with. I couldn't. There's nothing I could do.
Right.
But he knew, and he hasn't. I mean, he's like Ben. Like he's not like we've never had an incident with a crane on the wall, or ever since then. It never happened again.
He
So
probably just wasn't paying attention. Like
no, yeah,
that's Ben. He like just like is looking over here doing a drawing here. I'm like, sweetheart, that's the countertop. Like, let's not paint paint on the countertop.
yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. Like they're just the sweetest though. Like, I don't know if Lincoln is this way, but Ben's such a lover. Like he'll randomly just out of the blue, he'll go, Dad. And Ryan will say, yeah, buddy. He goes, I love you.
Does it to his mom all the time.
You will get there too.
Yeah, never me. Well, I'm sorry. So he goes, Mom. She goes, yeah, I love you. She said, I love you too. And I said, yo, buddy, what about me? And tonight he goes, I love you too, Dad. Duh.
Well, he's
That
like,
was the duh.
I don't need, I mean, isn't it so funny how he inserted it exactly where it needed to be too?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's
Duh.
always, he
We
never.
don't need to tell that. We don't need to say that, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny now too, because like when we go to bed, I still kiss him on the mouth. I don't care.
Do it.
Well, so like give him a big hug, and then he goes for the kiss, and I turn my head, and he goes like to my so he grabs my face, he turns it, and gives me a big kiss.
Oh, see,
love it.
those are the moments.
Yeah,
because I mean, let's face it, when he's 20, you won't be doing that. But
no, like let's hope not.
but you know what? If you do, then so be it. He's your boy.
Yeah,
it'd be a little weird. Just don't do it in public.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Tom Brady, it would be fine. Well, Tom Brady still does that with his kids.
With his kids?
They're younger. I mean,
oh yeah, they're still little.
Well, yeah, I mean they're younger. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it, and
I don't either.
As I said, I will kiss my son on the mouth until he
and
decides
when their little
not to.
Baby lips are so soft, you just want to like kiss them. And I always kiss the tip of their nose, tip of his nose, and his little chin. And his forehead and his cheek.
You just all over.
I can't stop kissing my child.
Yeah. Well, it's good. And he'll never ever think that he's not loved. And
that's like, I don't know if I'm doing anything right. You know, Ryan and I talk about this all the time. Like, I don't know if I'm parenting right. All I know is that I love that child more than I ever thought I could possibly love anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we need, right?
Absolutely. And I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm so happy to see, you married and have a beautiful family. Like, you honestly have a gorgeous family. Your wife is stunning. Your son is beautiful. And you're so cute.
Well, I mean, your son has your eyes. For sure.
He does. He's absolutely
does. Very handsome little boy. We're very lucky. And, I say this all the time. And I guess it goes to, keeping your circle. I mean, not that, you and I are as close as we once were, but I mean, we don't have to be. I mean, life's
Right, exactly. But we could pick up where we left off.
yeah,
And
and
we've always done that.
yeah, and it just I get so happy seeing other people happy, and
Me too.
I as much as I hate social media, I also love it because I get to see you and your son and Rye guy, and
He's
because
right here.
Ryan is he coming in?
Right.
Hey, Don, how are you?
He won't. He's in his jammies.
I was gonna say great things about Ryan, but then maybe now I won't.
Let him go upstairs. We'll get a
No,
big
but
head.
no, Ryan. You said before, like Ryan was always a staple in your life and the Weekender life because he'd show up, and Ryan's a very quiet guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan's a great dude, and I'm so happy for you guys. And
Yeah.
it was cool when he started the business, or you guys started the business. But
Yeah.
he's in it day to day. So it just yeah, I'm so happy that you guys are happy. And
Yeah. And I feel the same way. Social media is such a pain sometimes, and it can be so like negative, but I never just want to delete any of it because why I'm on there is because I love seeing people's pictures. And like when you see or hear people say, oh, you post too much. No one should ever post too much. Like keep posting. I want to see your son grow. I want to see Tiffany's kids grow. I want to see, I get to, I spend a lot of time with Janelle. So I see her boys all the time. I spend a lot of time with Leslie. I see her kids, but like, I want to see how well Nikki's doing and the articles that she's writing for the New York Post. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Like keep sharing all that stuff because there's people that actually love seeing it.
yeah, if you don't like it, just hit the snooze or delete them. Whatever.
Exactly.
But
So I tell you, good times, good memories.
yeah, I'm very thankful for the moments that I shared with everyone at the Weekender and you. And
Even though you didn't like me.
I didn't say that. I thought you didn't like me.
All right. We liked each other.
Therefore, I didn't like you.
Therefore, you didn't like me.
Well, we had to have the last words in. That's all.
That's right.
I think that's like, we had very similar personalities. And
wait, are you the middle child? You're the oldest.
I'm the oldest.
That explains a lot. Just kidding.
No.
I'm teasing.
I know. Well, thanks for doing this.
Oh my gosh. Of course. Thanks for keeping me up for like past my bedtime. I feel like I'm really, living life.
Yeah, have another bottle of wine. It'll be fine.
This is literally I made like small pours.
It's a weeknight.
I know.
It's a school
night.
Oh, I'll never forget. It didn't exist back then.
I know. Like we would be just going out right now. We would go to the bar until I don't know 3:30. What's cut off 2:30?
2
and then 2
after hour party somewhere.
Yeah, remember I never really went to Diablo's, but that was an after party. There's always something happening, and then we would roll into the office at 9:00.
Yep.
As if nothing happened the night before.
No big deal.
Now, if I drink too much, and by drinking too much, I mean like 3 beers.
Dead.
I literally can't pull myself together for 2 days.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, keep in touch.
Yes, absolutely. We'll do sushi.
Yes.
For real.
Sushi for real. Hopefully the pandemic subsides sooner than later. But keep posting pictures of your beautiful family. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you. And you do the same.
I will.
This is awesome. I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. Keep doing it and just keep being you. We love you.
One day, I love you guys too. I really do. And then one day, hopefully, we can do a in-person Weekender reunion.
We have to.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be awesome. That would be better than I said this to, I think Bridget. No, Nikki. I think I said it too. I think that would be more fun than my high school reunion was.
Oh, absolutely. We don't do high school reunions. We do Weekender reunions.
Yes.
I agree. That would I'm not sure how we would all feel the next day.
Get a babysitter for the night.
For 2 days.
2 days. You're gonna need a day to recover. There's Uber now. Uber exists.
Uber,
Like,
exactly. We love it.
I'm actually happy. I'm happy two things didn't exist when we were young. Camera phones and Uber.
Amen to that.
I mean, Uber, I don't know. I say Uber because I feel like I would have gotten out of control more than I already was.
Oh, for sure. At least you had to be a little bit responsible.
Yeah. I also had Mikey G. Mikey G
Yes.
was my DD more times than I can count. Shout out Mikey G. Thank you for if it wasn't
Such
for
a good
him,
guy.
I'd probably be in some trouble somewhere. So thanks, Mikey.
Yeah, he always made sure we were all safe.
He did.
He's a good guy.
He's the man. But well, I'll let you go to bed. I don't want you to wake up tomorrow being like that fucking Popko guy.
No, never, never, never. This was a lot of fun, and it brought back a lot of great memories, and exciting to just, share what we loved so much about a really special time in our life. Like those were the years that really kind of shaped us and our careers moving forward. And I hold the Weekender in a very special place in my heart.
Yeah, if it weren't for the Weekender and for you, I mean, I don't know where I'd be.
I love it. Make sure you stay on the next one too.
All right, I will.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All
And if you ever need a reliable used vehicle, check out RIK.
Later.
10% discount for you.
There you go.
Just kidding. All right. Well,
10% in a car, it's a lot. Do you want to go that low?
I have no say.
Okay.
It's Ryan that does all the things. He's gonna be like, okay, Kate, what are you drinking another glass of wine?
I have it on record. It's on record, so you're screwed. She told me I could have it.
Oh Lord. Well, thanks again for having me. And
thank you.
Tell Amanda I said hello, and
I will.
kiss that little booger for me.
I will.
He's so cute.
Same to you and yours.
All right. Well, have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
You got it. Bye.
All right. See you.